Sunaina, take it over.
Okay, I'll go. Academy winning director Kathleen Bigelow said that if there is specific resistance to women making movies or movies on women, I just choose to ignore it. And there are two reasons for her to ignore it. One is that I can't change my gender. Second is that I refuse to stop making movies. Welcome to India International Film Festival of Boston 2021. IIFFB is founded by Razia Mushkur. She is a North America-based famous media personality and a champion of many human causes through her organization. As the world is navigating through these challenging times, we at IIFFB sincerely believe that art has an important part to play in reflecting and highlighting the pressing issues in the world, but at the same time remind us of the beautiful serendipities of life. The films showcased this year in our festival are a reflection of the world around us, the ever evolving and the ever changing world. My name is Sunaina Kachru Bhide. I am a film producer, writer, lyricist, and a poet. I have written for films like Half Widow, Suraj Sharma's Starer, The Illegal, which was reviewed by Oscar this year, Gosh, First Love, which was featured in Cannes, Mami, and Austin Film Festival, and also at IIFFB. My recent collaboration as surveyed as a producer, lyricist with Shankar Mahadevan, Danish Renzel, Soni, Razan, Archana Kama, Tamasha highlighted the cause of the exodus of Kashmiris. My co-moderator is a change maker and a young dynamic technocrat, Priya Samant. She's also an impact advisor for films, a concept that she created. Her films as an impact advisor have been listed and reviewed by Oscar. She has launched discussions around entertainment as a catalyst for cultural diplomacy and Indian cinema as a soft power for diplomacy. He has moderated panels at World Economic Forum and is on the organizing committee for Horasis, an independent international organization committed to inspiring the future. Welcome, Priya.
Thank you so much, Sunaina. So continuing the theme of this year, we have a panel of critically acclaimed and award-winning artists who have worked on the films that are not only content-driven and women-centric, but also provide wholesome entertainment to the masses. To discuss the changing role of the women in Indian cinema, on the panel we have today with us is award-winning actress Pranita Subhash, experimental actress Chitrangada Chakraborty, and we are also hoping that the model actress and host, celebrity host Simran Ahuja will be joining us soon. So in the essence of time, I am going to open today's panel with Pranita. You have been a successful, you have had a very successful career in regional films that include Kannada, Telugu, and Tamil films. Your foray into Hindi films has been phenomenal with Bhuj and Hangama too. How do you navigate between different languages, the ecosystem of these industries, and the adjustments that come along with them?
I think today the film industry is very open to female-centric movies, and this is not just relegated to Bollywood. Even in the South, if you've observed, whether it is Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, or Malayalam, whether it is OTT, that is the over-the-top media, or whether it is theatrical releases, I think that women are able to really bring in crowds today. So I think especially whether it is, navigating through the industries has not really been a task because every film requires an actress at the end of the day. But I think today we're just upping the game with making the girl, giving her a centric role in every film. I think that is what is the change I see today.
That's really great. So tell me, being a successful young actress and being educated at one of the prestigious school, which is just in my and Sunaina's backyard, if I may say, Harvard Kennedy School, you have been also been very much committed to the social causes. Do you think your think your celebrity status helps you to put a spotlight on certain issues? Especially, we are in post-COVID era, we can say.
Socially relevant causes. I think that as an actor, we receive so much from the society that at some point, I think it's really important for all of us. I'm sure the other actors on this panel will agree that it's sometimes time comes when you really have to up the game by making sure that you're able to pull in resources, funds, volunteers. Everything becomes easier when you're an actress. So I think it just was a very easy progression towards social work, wherein it was quite easy for us to establish an entire ecosystem with having people volunteer with us or having people fund for the causes that we stand for and things like that. So I think all the actors out there should really take up various social causes, and I think the world will be a better place.
That's very beautifully said. So we want to welcome Director Faraz Arif Ansari. Thank you so much for joining us. And he's our special guest today. So thank you, being the only man with all of us today. Thank you so much. So Sunena, over to you.
Thank you so much. And Faraz, welcome.
Thank you for having
I
me.
I will I'll move over to Chitrangda, and at the beginning of the panel you said experimental actors, but your repertoire also includes a lot of strong content driven films, which where the women are at the center of the storytelling and the narrative. So, what kind of impact do you see the emergence of OTT, which has brought a lot of limelight on content-driven films? How do you see this impact, and do you think this is kind of a blessing for filmmakers, especially independent filmmakers, and the content that features women?
You want to ask like the change in terms of gender, like how women related films are being made more, or how this OTT platform is giving the independent filmmakers more chance.
Yeah, I think my question was more from the perspective of how OTT, because the OTT is now something that is
OTT is the only platform right now at this point of time. Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Firstly, I would say that there's like, as a woman, I definitely see a change in terms of content. I think because the whole world, like there is no there's no like one like small community. There has been a constant discussion about gender that is going on all around the world. Like we all are learning new things every day about gender, understanding the binary, non-binary, and many other angles of this particular subject. It's a huge subject. So because there is so much of discussion going on every day, so the people who are making stuff, like making content, they are also becoming aware. A lot of questions are being asked to them, and after even the filmmakers, their intentions are noble and they want to make something very impactful in a good way, but at the end, after the release, still there are questions being asked, which I also feel is quite healthy because we are learning more. And with this whole OTT platform coming in, what has happened, I feel we have a lot more access to a lot more content, and we can choose what we want to watch. So and there are so many platforms, they are coming in. Everybody wants to compete with each other, everybody wants to provide interesting subjects, and to be honest, there is no dearth of subject in this huge planet, because human beings are extremely interesting, and every gender, every society have so many stories to tell. So that way, a lot of new makers are coming in. And the good thing is, I see a lot of women coming in to tell stories, because women centric stuff is not just about casting a woman as the primary character. It also has to have a female perspective. I mean, there should be more cinematographers, editors who are women, writers who are women. Like as of now, I mean, all over India, there is like maybe one gaffer who designs light, who is female. there should be more. Like we should stop using the word female filmmakers. It should be filmmaker, like
Right.
actor. I'm an actor.
Right.
Like female act. Like the more I think people come in, more. I mean, we have a long way to go. I feel, but we are there, and that's a good change, and I can see that happening.
Right. Oh, I agree. I think some of the interesting things that you said was that it should, we learn more as we know more, and these films should at least incite some kind of healthy discussions, and that much should happen. And I'm myself a poet, and I have sometimes an issue with if somebody uses the word poetess. I somehow refuse that. I'm saying I'm a
Yeah.
poet.
Right.
Poet has nothing to do with gender. So she's a poet or
Exactly.
he is a poet, something like that. And yeah, so thank you for saying that. I would like to extend my question a little bit. I know that you come from a family that has been in the filmmaking industry for a while, especially your mother's a filmmaker. So being from that, in being in that ecosystem where films were discussed, do you think that has helped you to navigate your way or to pick the roles? How do you see that influence in your life or as an actor?
Definitely, it has a. Am I audible?
Yes.
Definitely, it played a huge influence. My father used to make films. My parents, they got separated, so like before separation, I only saw him directing, and they would sometimes carry me along to their film sets. And because my mother also used to write for him and sometimes act. So I love that environment, like how everybody used to work together and they would create stuff which is not real, but when we watch it on TV or on big screen, it looks real. So this entire thing really fascinated me, that everybody is playing some game, and like how as kids we would play games, we would be doctor, we would be teacher, we're pretending, but it has to look real, it has to look authentic. So I, but in the, like, while I was growing up, I did a lot of other stuff. I, at some point of time, I wanted to join the army, but at, like, at the end of the day, I realized that I want to be associated with films, with arts and entertainment. I was still figuring it out that whether I really want to be an actor or not, but that also happened in the process with theater, with performing arts. And because I have grown up watching interesting films, uh, films which kids of my age would usually not watch. Maybe I did not understand back then, but but somehow those aesthetics, they influenced me. And like, I don't know, it's like how it happened. I ended up studying mass communication and video production in St. Xavier's, Kolkata. And fortunately, this course here is like totally filmmaking based. So we were made to study films where we were like, like our professor, he questioned certain decisions taken by the script writers. Why this character die? Because it's
Mhm.
an easy way to, like, like solve the problem. Or why this character is represented in such a way because she's a woman. So these questions occurred in my head, uh, like when I was a teenager, when I was 19, 18. So I think that really helped now when I am choosing roles, because I'm not just choosing roles looking at the fact that, oh, this is by this production house and this is this big, that big, and all of that. I need to know, am I a prop in the film, or am I feeding to some sort of misogyny? Then, boy, I'm out of it. Okay. So, of course, like, this entire journey from being a child, being in college, and now, and whatever is happening all around the world, it has influenced me in taking my decision as an actor.
Thank you so much. That was pretty insightful. And I'll hand over back to Priya. Priya, you want to take over, ask the next question to the next panelist?
Yes, sure. I will do that. Thank you, Sunana. So, Simran, thank you so much for joining us. You have been a beauty pageant winner in with Miss India in 2013. You're an international celebrity anchor, actress, and entrepreneur, and you're also known as the dancing queen of the folk dance. As a woman achiever, what role do you enjoy the most in your stack?
Wow. Very, very interesting. It's all of it, So this is a, always obvious question where everyone would ask that, how do you really cope with everything? And I tell them, yeah, because it's all seasonal. And, things tend to get monotonous after a while. But for me, every day is a new day, a new beginning. And everything is seasonal. So International Yoga Day, where I represent the culture, and the beautiful yoga. So I'm just completely with yoga. Navratri is all about the folk dance. For 10 days, I'm just enjoying myself in the world of folk and then getting back, to my emceeing bit, to my movies bits. I think I like all of that. I made it a point a couple of years back to enjoy every second of my life. And deliberately, I've said to myself that I don't want to really give in time, for my own workout. But when I'm taking sessions, I would like to work out. Only when I demonstrate is the only time I'm working out. So I was at Rishikesh. I came back yesterday from Rishikesh, and in the morning, at night, we had the awards with the honorable speaker of the Legislative Assembly. And in the morning, I took yoga there. And, suddenly I would just do a Shirsasana even after a year's time. So I've been really very, very lucky. I enjoy every bit of it. And I've deliberately made it a point that if I'm doing something and I'm not passionate about it, I better fall in love with it. So since the past almost 4 years, life has been completely beautiful. I just sail with the water and sail in the boat the way it takes me. And I just feel I'm like a free bird, just taking the way as it comes. So I enjoy every single endeavor, and I'm always very thrilled and excited. And this is the common question when everyone says, where do you get this energy from? It's because of the diverse backgrounds that I have and the things that I do, at different intervals. I'm like very seasonal. So that's what makes my life interesting and makes me be on my toes and energetic all the time.
I really like what you said, this free spirit. I mean, COVID has taught all of us that, we have to go with the flow. Every day is a new day, just go with the flow. I really like that spirit. I see there's a lot of positive energy flowing here. So, we should keep the momentum. So see, there are many first generation Indian origin aspiring actors also in the US. You have also been associated with TV Asia, which is the US-based South Asian channel. So you basically navigate, within different cultures. So do you see hope for actresses and actors? I mean, I'll say actors, and especially women in that, which includes, by the way, me as well, to foray into the Indian cinema. Do you think there's a hope for us?
Absolutely. I think, we are in the best phase, is what I would say. And anything and everything that an individual wants to do, you know, they can definitely achieve it, especially at this point of time when you see every endeavor of life. We have unique stars, people who are not known to anyone have become like stars, just by being YouTubers, doing their little bit. Even if you have a little bit of talent and you want to showcase it to the world, today you have the platform. We have OTT, which is like every single thing that you want to do, whether you want to get into fitness, wellness, you want to get into anything that you're passionate about. I think the doors are open. Today there is no stopping, and it is only talent which will sell. So gone are the days when we used to think that, oh, you need to have a background, you need to have influence. I think it's only talent which is working right now, and if you're really smart enough, you can make the most out of it. It's the
Well,
best
we
space for every single artist. And for like you see singers out of nowhere have become like professional singers. It's just because our very renowned stars couldn't do smaller bits, smaller shows, couldn't be a part of the world shows, but all these singers are put from nowhere, from a very small place, who all become stars today. So it's only talent now at this point of time, and someone who's passionate about, work, and when one is ready to give themselves completely and put their passion in the right place along with hard work, I think that's what is sticking now. So yes, we are open to everyone. So everyone, please come in, and all the doors across the world are open, and it's the best time for girls as well.
well, we are keeping our fingers crossed. So over to you, Sunena.
Very inspiring conversation from you, Simran. And I think all we need nowadays is a phone that can record and an internet connection that can upload your content. So I agree with you. I think my question is, I'm going to head over to Faraz. Faraz, you can hear me, right? And I think, but
I
you're
can,
on.
yes, I
Yeah.
can. Yeah, hi.
Okay. So as a filmmaker, when I did my first film, I was always asked, it's a very cliched question, and I was always asked why this film. So I think I'm just going to do the same thing and ask you a question, because that's where I want to begin my conversation with you. Is that why did you decide to make a film which is a film which is women-led narrative highlighting the gender sexuality issues where the conversation of binary non-binary comes into play? Why this film? Why this story? Yeah, over
I,
to you.
yeah, thank you, Sunana. I think the most important thing for me, in particular, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, has been I grew up in the '90s in India, and most of the representation that I saw on screen, be it the queer representation, be it Muslim representation, it was always deeply problematic. I grew. I mean, the journey of a Muslim in Indian cinema has been, from the courtesans, we were the supporting best friends, then we were the terrorists, and now we are the invaders. So I think it's been deeply problematic for me because I come from a Muslim family, and I wanted to change that narrative. I wanted to bring forward a narrative that celebrates a Muslim family that I come from. I come from a very progressive Muslim family. We don't live, as you can see, we don't have any green colored walls. We don't eat biryani and kebab every day. We don't wear kurta pajama and surma and, or these stereotypes that have been instigated and pushed and shoved down, and deeply problematic, because I think that has really caused a lot of repression within communities and within minorities. And I think that I wanted to put forward a narrative that is my narrative. I come from a Muslim family. Why do I not see a Muslim family like mine on screen? So I think that's where it started. Two things. Misrepresentation. I think that was what really got me to make a film like Sheer Korma. Of course, it's not just misrepresentation, it's so much more than that. I think it's about representation, authentic, genuine, honest representation, which you don't really see in cinema these days. Why are non-queer people telling stories of queer people to begin with, right? Why are filmmakers who do not belong to the minority talking and making films about minorities? I don't get it. Why can we not just pass on the mic to the right people? Why cannot we just empty the podium and let the right people step into the limelight and tell their stories? Why can't we create opportunities for other storytellers? And I think that's where I really come in. I come in at those intersections, and my film Sheer Korma is also about these intersections. It's not just about sexuality, it's not just about gender identity, it's about womanhood, it's about nationality, it's about faith, it's about, and also very human things, very universal human things like acceptance and love. And I think I wanted to present it in a way that which is, for the lack of a better word, mainstream. And therefore I had to get actors. And when I say mainstream, I don't mean the um, the understanding of mainstream that we have. When I say mainstream, I mean universal. Universal in the spectrum of anyone, regardless of who you are or where you come from, can connect and find a bond with the film. It can relate with you. It can resonate with you, and you can find something to really take back. So I think that's pretty much been my journey, so far as a filmmaker. And that's why Sheer Korma, I feel that there was a massive lack of representation, especially about minorities and queer minorities in that sense. And I wanted to change that perspective. I wanted to bring forward a perspective of love and progressiveness and honesty.
Yeah, and also sense of normalcy of these narratives being part of the society, normal
You know,
society.
I I disagree to the word normalcy. I absolutely abhor the word normalcy, because I feel that the minute something has to be normalized, one perceives it to be abnormal. you know. I think there
Hmm.
is nothing to be normalized. There is just it needs to be embraced. It needs to be
Hmm.
accepted. And I
Yeah.
think, you know, we ourselves, you know, even me, I have, you know, I also have my own prejudices in spite of being who I am. We all have as human beings. And I think the journey, you know, as an artist, is to understand our prejudices and to kind of, you know, let go of them, you know, to evolve through our, you know, to acknowledge and, you know, move beyond
Right.
our prejudices. So I think there's nothing to normalize. I think it's all about embracing, it's all about acceptance.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that I always believe in and continue to believe in is that we always say we are all alike. I think my thought is that we are not alike. We're all different, unique, and that's an acknowledgement, acceptance that we need all in it. So I agree with there no normalization. Can I extend that question a little bit? You talked about passing the mic to the right people. Do you think OTT has and helped that and facilitated storytelling? How do you see that impact?
You know, to be very honest with you, I think most of the OTT in India is absolutely crass. You know, it's absolutely horrible. It's derogatory and it's just sexual because they want to just sell content. You know, I mean, just because there is no censorship, everything is sexual. Everyone is abusing, and that has become the trump card to get more, you know, to get more subscriptions, to get more, you know, the people from a tier two, tier three, and beyond, you know, to buy subscription because it's as cheap as 99 rupees, you know, for a month, or like 200 rupees for the entire year. I think what OTT has done, and I don't know if it is a good thing or a bad thing, is exactly, you know, I think what I think the whole technological boom has also done. Filmmaking, storytelling are responsibilities, right? With, I think, with great power and, you know, with great responsibility, one has to also be aware of the content that one is creating, the content that one is really putting out, because the impact that it's going to have. And just to put that into, you know, sort of sense, I will talk about this influencer. I'm not going to name them, but there was this influencer who had done a video about wedding photographers a couple of weeks back, and that went viral. And a friend of mine who happens to be a wedding photographer was actually bullied at a wedding because of this video that this influencer made. Because, you know, the video was mocking wedding photographers, was making fun of their careers, was making fun of what they do at weddings, and it ended up being pretty regressive. So I think we all need to like really understand, like, with our exposure, with our privilege, with the access that we have, are we really in control of what we are putting out, or will we just keep on creating anything that goes viral? You know, is there going to be a sensibility? Is there going to be a responsibility attached to it, or is it just about numbers and sales again? You know, I mean, technically art was supposed to be, you know, it has no commercial sort of overshadow on it. You know, art is free of that. But I think these days it has become, I think, content, you know, not art, but content has become so commercialized. It's all become about views, about followers, whether you're verified or whether you're not verified. All these calisthenics, you know. And I actually made something recently, and I was working with an OTT. And you know, we were trying to cast actors, and the first thing that the OTT asked me said, how many followers does this actor have on Instagram?
Yeah.
And I was genuinely shocked, because I said, what? And they were like, yeah, I mean, the actor is really great and they fit the role and everything, but how many followers do they have? Do they have a verified account or not? And I said, but how does that have to do anything
Hmm.
with the
Yeah.
acting capabilities of this person, this actor? But they say no,
Yeah.
but you know, it's important, because if the content has to be picked up by X and Y and Z, and if it has to go viral, you need influencers. So influencers are the new actors, and I'm not going to ever you know, get on board with that bandwagon. I'm very happy to work with actors who are actors, who understand the craft, and you know, the responsibility that the craft brings to you. You know, I think, you know, when I was working with Shabana Azmi ji in Sheer Korma, my perspective of being a filmmaker filmmaker, being a storyteller, a teller really changed, because there was so much of undoing, unlearning that I had to do personally, because Shabana ji comes from a different generation of actors. She's worked with the best of the best of the best, right? And this is my second film, Sheer Korma. So when I was working with Shabana Azmi ji, I realized that the amount of homework that she puts in every scene that she does. I mean, when she used to come in the morning on set, for shooting, she used to show me her script, and her script only used to have notes in it. And then we used to sit down for a minimum of 2 to 3 hours going through every script, because she used to ask me, why are we doing this and why are we not doing this? And I think those discussions, they don't happen anymore. I mean, when you're on my other project, actors just show up in hair and makeup and they're like, what's the scene? Am I looking good? Am I looking, do you like this profile? Do you like that profile? It's really, I think so. Where do you draw the line? Where do you, say, is this good content or is this bad content? Or is this the content progressive? Is this content regressive? I think we need to start asking these questions rather than saying, oh, this content went viral. I think our perspectives need to change. We're losing our perspectives. I mean, we need to like hold on to our technological boom and marvel and really sit back and be like, evaluate a little, because I think in the next 5 years, otherwise it's just going to, I mean, it's the same thing happening, right? I mean, what Indian cinema was doing in the 80s and the 90s, making regressive content, all online, most of the online content these days is absolutely regressive. People making fun of other people, the caricatures, instigating a stereotype. South Delhi auntie is like that. South Bombay auntie is like this. A woman from Bengal speaks like this. A woman from, a man from Maharashtra talks like this. A queer person talks like this. How is this entertaining content? I don't even find it entertaining. I don't even find it, So imagine how starved we are for good content, that we see these content and we think, wow, this is the shit, this is the cool thing, this is what we really want to watch. And then of course you see the Emmys and the Golden Globes and all of that, and they are making absolutely different content, and we'll never be able to do it back home, because we're still stuck into these things. We're stuck into these ruts that we've created for ourselves.
No, no, I think I can have a separate call with you on that, because of my own experiences on that. But I completely agree with you, and it's very insightful, and I guess it made me think. And I think that's what a good conversation should do. And we don't have to necessarily all of us agree, but it should make us think. I'll hand it over back to Priya.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I know we all are pressed on time, and all I can say is hearing to Pranita had to leave, but hearing to Pranita, Chitrangada, Faraz, and Simran, the future of Indian cinema is really bright. With the different perspectives and ideas that you all bring to the community and the industry, the future is really bright. So what I'm going to do now is we are going to quickly go and have a question, which is actually the theme of our panel, the changing role of women in Indian cinema. So in one sentence, if each one of you can let us know what what is the changing role of the Indian cinema according to you? What is it? So Faraz, do you want to start?
Sure. I think I always keep saying, I think the future is femme, the future is queer, the future is non-binary, and I think that's where we're really headed there. And it's not just a t-shirt statement, I'm not just saying this to be cool. I think that's where the future is headed, and I think it's not just about being a woman or being a female. I think it's about harnessing, channeling the feminine energy. It's about the divine feminine. It's about celebration of femininity, and not being afraid of embracing that. I think it's all about the yin and the yang. It's about the balance, and I think when the balance is absolutely at par, that's where magic happens. Magic is not about inequalities. Magic is about equality. Magic is about equal opportunities, equal access, equal rights, equal privileges for everyone. And I think that's where cinema, or that's where any art should be headed. Having said that, I think there has to be, of course, a room for the marginalized, the underrepresented and the suppressed communities across the spectrum. So when you talk about LGBTQIA plus, it's always about the cis gay men. Where are the transgender people? Where are non-binary people of the color? Where are queer people of color? It's always about the whites. So I think between all these things, between our journey in representation, our journey in inclusion, we need to look at inclusion in a larger perspective also. So I think, what is the role of a woman? I think the role of a woman is going to be the future. That's where the future lies, and that's where we are.
Well said. Simran, do you want to take it? What do you think is the changing role of the women in the Indian cinema?
Too exciting, absolutely a thrill, and every single belief that a girl or a lady has, or that one dreams of, every single description can be put into reality. So people are very open. The women of today has that, has the power, and she's there to reason. She's there to speak her heart out, and she's here to win hearts. At the same time, her voice is being heard everywhere. So she's no more the one who thinks of manipulating things and keeping quiet, or believing that one should be in that space of shelter. But she's open to the world, and she's here to win world. So Indian women and Indian ladies are all set to be themselves, at the same time extroverts, keeping in mind the values that they have, the moral values, because I think India is a very spiritual country. So I think they're naturally imbibed with a lot of spiritual values, but they are here to go across borders and, of course, let everyone know that what they want in life. So I think, yeah, it's a very good time for all the Indian women.
Chitrangada.
As I said earlier, I think the women's role in cinema has to go beyond being in front of the camera, being the director, being the writer. There should be more women, like, in every department. When we see any, like we see in any film where they're showing some scene is being shot, they're showing some film shooting, the women are usually costume designers or makeup artists, or an AD. It has to go beyond that we have to stop using the word female before every, designation. Female fight master. I think the day we reach that, I think I'll see that we have come like a lot far from where we were before. So yeah, that's all.
So, I know it's getting very late in India now, and you all have your next commitments. So, I just want to thank all of you for joining us today. It was a great discussion, and I think individually, I and Sunena can reach out to each of one of you and have a 1 hour or maybe more than 1 hour session to just go over, more, and what future looks like, and how can one contribute to it. So, with that being said, I want to once again thank all of you for being here with us today. It was a great honor to have you all. So please join us virtually or in person for the fourth year of the India International Film Festival of Boston on September 24th, 25th, and 26th. Please visit IIFFB.org for more information, and stay safe, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Priya.
Razia.
Thank you.
Razia,
Sunil.
thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, it was a lovely discussion. I mean, all of this will get edited, but all of you, thank you so much for joining.